Welcome back to the Candle Business Podcast. I'm your host, Erica, and I have my own small candle business called Memory Box Candle Co. that I run with my husband, Chris. Together, we also have a 2-year-old little boy that keeps us very busy outside of this candle business. And on this channel and this podcast, I love to just share everything that I've learned thus far with my own candle business journey. And today's episode, I want to dive into how exactly we market our candle business. Now, I want to be fully transparent with you because I know I put in the title without using ads. And this is completely true in regards to the retail side of things. However, in regards to the wholesale side of our business, we do run ads through fairs promoted listings. So I know that does count as running ads. However, it counts for a very small portion of our total business. But what I'm primarily focused on in today's video is how we market our candle business on the retail side of things direct to the consumer without running ads. So I'm just going to jump right into it and say that we have about 5 different ways that we are getting customers to our retail store, or just customers in general purchasing retail from us. And the first one being YouTube. So I have been on YouTube since September of 2019. I got to look up the date because I feel like we're right around the 6-year mark of me making candle making content on YouTube. And so I got to look and see when that exact date is. But ever since I have been posting online, I truly did not think about it as a marketing platform, but it makes total sense that when you are putting your name out there and when you're consistently making content of any kind, whether or not it's for my target demographic, there are people that are finding me, looking at my products and wanting to purchase. So this has been consistent through all 5-6 years in business. YouTube has just been such a great way to get new customers. And this is a variety of customers. Sometimes it's people that are candle makers, aspiring candle makers. Sometimes it's other makers that are just, maybe they're in the soap business or the perfume business, and then they're wanting to support me. Or they're not a maker at all. They just like my videos and they just want to support and try out the products, and then they fall in love and they just keep purchasing from them or from us. So there's a bunch of different types of people that will find us and purchase from a variety of different reasons. But it just goes to show how powerful a platform like YouTube can be. And I know I've mentioned this before in the past, but I have wanted to make videos before talking about how I've used YouTube to grow my business, even though it really wasn't designed to be that way. But again, when you are adding yourself into it, your personality, it's kind of like an alternative to going live on Instagram all the time, or putting a lot of reels out there or TikToks where you are the face and people are getting to know you and your personality. I think a lot of it has to do with that personal connection more than anything. So no matter what the social media platform is, if you are really consistent with it and you are sharing and putting your personality out there, I think that really is the number one thing, is that people either feel connected to us and our story, and they start to like the person behind the camera. So again, whether that's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, people feel that they know you. And I've had people tell me that before, like they're like, I've watched so many of your videos, I feel like I know you. And I know what that's like because I felt that way too with other people that make YouTube videos and create content online. You watch so much of them and you get to know them based on just, all throughout their videos. And so I think that has been the biggest driving factor for people to pull the trigger and want to purchase products, even if it is other makers just wanting to try it out, even if it is people that just stumble across my videos, have no desire to start a candle business, but they're just really fascinated by the idea. And I know I've been really interested in other people's products that are small businesses, and I just really like them as a person, and then therefore I want to support their business. And you feel more connected to the product because you feel like you know the person behind the product. And again, YouTube does drive wholesale as well. So either regular wholesale or white label. I've had people find us through YouTube because they're looking up different candle brands and then we pop up. And it's just, really interesting to see how something as simple as me making videos of, in the past, making candle making content, or just this video right here, I never know who's going to watch this video and who's going to be intrigued. Like, oh, she sells wholesale. Oh, she does white label. She makes candles for other candle makers. You never know who's watching the video. So because of that, it just kind of opens up this world of all of these potential customers that you have no idea about, but it's just an endless possibility is kind of what YouTube is. If you're thinking about starting a candle business, whether you're in the testing phase or you're preparing to launch, I have something that's going to make your life so much easier. It's my candle business launch checklist. This checklist will walk you through everything that you need to be thinking about and getting done before you launch your business so that you can feel confident and prepared. And the best part is that when you do download it, you're going to get my weekly emails that's packed with tips and advice and encouragement to help you along your candle business journey. So you can head to ericamariemorris.com/checklist to download yours right now. The next driving factor for our retail online sales is word of mouth. So I feel like this is something that a lot of people should focus on, but it's also the hardest thing to control. And I think a lot of it has to do with you just reminding people to share your products with others. Candles make such a great gift. So a lot of times people are gifting your products for friends and family. And I've had people, I think it was our Mother's Day candle, I've had people receive that candle as a Mother's Day gift. And then that person who received the candle went onto our retail website and purchased. So it's really interesting to see how it gets spread around, and it's really endless because one person tells one person who tells one person, and it's just this domino effect. And yes, it can feel like it can take a little while, but the more times that you can get your products in the hands of people, the better. And it just is, again, it's something that you can't really control or get the analytics for. The most that we are able to do is we do have our post-purchase survey. That's where I'm kind of getting the most of this information, is just knowing where people are finding us and how they're finding us. And a lot of people are finding us through friends and family, which is that word of mouth kind of category of people being able to know of our brand and then seek us out to purchase from us, even if they originally never purchased from us, but they received it as a gift, or they went over to somebody's house and they saw a candle, they fell in love, they wanted to purchase it for themselves. So it's just it's classic. It's the oldest way of marketing. It's that word of mouth that keeps bringing people back over and over again, and then, expanding more and more. So it's just one of the best things I think that you can do to grow your candle business. But again, it's the hardest one to really implement because you can only do so much on your end to really have that happen. It's more of just creating the best product that you can, have it speak for itself, and then try to get your candles in the hands of as many people as possible. Get in gift boxes, gift bags. We are in a lot of gifting services, mainly through our wholesale. So we have a lot of gifting companies that purchase large quantities of our products. And we know that those candles are going to get in the hands of so many people. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But we have people that have been the end consumer of our wholesale return directly to us. And again, I'll get to that in just a moment. But the third one I want to mention is social media. So Instagram, Pinterest. I'm going to throw SEO in there. I didn't really know where I wanted to throw SEO. I know that's not social media, but I wanted to add that in there because I've had people have filled out the survey saying they found us on Google, or I've asked people in person who have reached out, how did you hear about us? And she's like, I just found you on Google. And that is SEO, which is amazing. And SEO, if you're not familiar with it, is search engine optimization. So you're putting in keywords, you're putting in fall candles near me, or whatever it is, whatever keywords that somebody would type into Google to search to find an item that they're looking for, that is where you want to pop up when somebody is searching for mainly long tail keywords. Short tail keywords like soy candles, coconut candles, those are much harder to rank for. But if you can have, more of a longer tail keyword in there, then you are able to, have a higher possibility of ranking higher with SEO. But that's really interesting to me when I see people say that they found us directly on Google, because it just means that our SEO is ranking pretty well, at least enough for people to be able to find us. And then in terms of Instagram and Pinterest, so Instagram, I've had people put in our survey on the post-purchase survey that they found us through Instagram. Now, I know if I was more active on Instagram, and I know I've been back and forth with Instagram and TikTok and the Reels and creation and all that kind of stuff, it's just, it's a lot. And to be consistent with it is a lot. So I'm not as consistent with it, but we still have gained quite a few customers through Instagram. And then through Pinterest, I'm going to put up the analytics because I have the actual analytics from Pinterest. Now, this is since February when I first got on Pinterest and was, posting and pinning and all that. Now I pay my sister to make my pins and, have those going daily. So I know that it's a long-term game with Pinterest, and I know that it's not something that happens overnight. So although this is a very small amount, it's still pretty cool to see on Pinterest, to see the analytics and how much money has been brought in, how many sales, all that kind of stuff. And this is all organic on Pinterest. None of this is paid for. However, I am wanting to, once I am wanting to invest a certain amount of money per month into ads, I'm going to do Pinterest over Instagram or Facebook. Definitely because I'm banned from doing any ads, or suspended. Banned is a little heavy of a word. I'm suspended from doing it on Facebook and Instagram, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. But I'm definitely going to do Pinterest when I am wanting to run ads. But it's hard because, when I'm seeing sales coming in organically, I'm just like, okay, how much more can I get by paying ads? And I know I could probably dramatically increase our direct-to-consumer revenue by, either being really consistent on Instagram and TikTok, like consistent with creating video content and all that, or by doing Pinterest ads and just seeing how that works out. Now, in terms of being very consistent with Pinterest, I started my sister on in the middle of June, so July, August. So it's only been just shy of 3 months that she's been working for me. And I've heard that it can take anywhere from 6 months to a year to really start seeing traction. So we're just continuing forward and being consistent with posting and seeing, how that all turns out. I know that Pinterest is a long game, so I'm not really, too freaked out over that. So the fourth one is local markets and events, local Facebook group, running local giveaways, everything local. So although we haven't done any local markets recently, which we were building up a customer base from that, I have been fairly active in our local Facebook group. I've gone through phases of being really active and then not very active. I've run giveaways. That really gets a lot of traction on Facebook groups. And I've had people purchase, even if they weren't the winner of the giveaway, I've had people still purchase the item that was up for a giveaway. And there's been a couple people who I know were from that Facebook group that purchase every time I do limited edition drops, every time I do sales, they purchase all the time. So I see the same names pop up a lot, and I start to recognize and remember who they are. When we did local markets, we had a lot of regular customers that would come back and buy again and again. And then doing the candle making workshop that we just did, that's a way to gain local clientele as well who are interested in your products. And it's just a really great way to build up that local following. And it definitely brings in revenue for us, for the local customers wanting to keep coming back and back again. The only thing that I wish we had for our local customers was a way for them to be able to smell all of our candles. Like if we had just like a little warehouse and a showroom with all of our scents that people could just pop in and out, smell the fragrances, and then just make an order and we could have it ready for them to pick up. And it's just such a dream. It's such a dream. Oh my gosh. I don't know if in California we'll be able to do that, but one day it'd be really cool because obviously we can't have people just coming in and out of our apartment all the time. And then the last one that I wanted to mention, and I know I mentioned it already, is because we do so much wholesale, there's always on the back end that those customers will seek us out directly. So I've had emails from a lot of customers that have said, hey, I was vacationing in Florida, whatever, and I went into this gift shop, your candle was there, I bought it, I loved it, and I'm just wanting it again, that kind of thing. So we've had a lot of people reach out directly. We've had people select that they found us through a retail shop at our on our post-purchase survey. So it's just really interesting to see that even though we are selling our products wholesale to these retailers, that their customers some of them have actually seeked us out directly to purchase directly from us, which is really cool. So it's kind of this I don't even know the phrase. I don't want to say domino effect or like full circle. I don't even know how to describe it, but I hope you know what I mean because it's really interesting to see that. But those are the top ways that I'm thinking in my head that without paying for ads, these are the ways that we are getting traffic and sales to our online shop. And yeah, I'm just trying to think of if there's anything else because I was going around in my head and I was looking at everything and the different ways that people found us. And these are pretty much the top categories of how people are finding us. And I thought you might find it interesting to know. And we are always trying to expand, of course. My goal for just the next couple of years is just to increase our profit. Obviously, wholesale is doing great, but it is the lowest profit that we are getting. So by doing candle making workshops, by increasing our direct-to-consumer sales, maybe doing a market here and there, who knows? It just depends on how that goes. I'm kind of going back and forth on doing markets or not, just because you don't know. It's so funny to me now. I'm like, man, you don't know how much money you're making when you're going into it. But we have always made money at markets. So it's kind of like, it's usually always worth it. I think there was only a couple markets before in the past that we were like, okay, this was not worth it at all. But for the most part, we would always make at least $400 to $500 a market. So yeah, it's kind of, just trying to figure it out, especially with our son and how that all works out. These candle making workshops seem like it may be a better option than doing vendor events, but I don't know. You never know. I say things and then things change all the time. As a business owner, I feel like we reserve the right to change our mind and try different paths all the time. So if you set a goal for the year and then 3 months later, you're like, you know what? I think I need to revisit that and change it up. Don't feel bad because I do that all the time. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And with that, I will see you in the next one.